Hi everybody, Martyn at Flicking Feathers again today, and I'm tying this excellent wee heatherfly pattern. This is absolutely deadly in the summer when the heatherfly hatches on. It's one of my favourite hatches back home. Used to love it, and this pattern certainly gets them. So as always, I'll put a materials list in the description, along with a link to the Patreon page for anybody that wants to support the channel, which would get you entered into the giveaways for the flies and some of the others that I do. So this time the current box that's got to be for the giveaways, it's a compartment box. I can't show you that easily, but it's these terrestrials that I've been tying recently. So there's GT, the generic terrestrial. I've got a chafer beetle, cocky bundy, Paisley's clegg, and now the heatherfly's going in. Alternatively, if you like the video, share the video, leave a comment below, watch it all the way to the end. All of that's very appreciated and does help the channel to grow. So I'm going to start with the detached body. Just put a needle, get that straight, a needle in my vise. Now, for the purposes of the video, I'm doing one, but the best thing to do is sit and do all of your detached bodies so that you can get them the same, right? You know, you want to be consistent. So we're just going, we've got to start some 8O uni black, obviously, and I'm going to leave myself a nice long tag end. I've got 20 centimeters there, so 8 inches, right, which is much more than you need, but it makes handling easier later. And I'm going to get a bit of foam, and I've cut this foam that's plastazote, right? It's soft, it's not a hard fly foam, it's the plastazote block you would get for your booby eyes. I've cut it, say about 2mm by 1.5mm, something like that. 2mm square's fine if that's easy. You don't need to be super fussy. But as I say, if you do it all together, right, cut all your strips, then do all your bodies. So I'm going to come in, I've folded it in half, right, and I've pierced it through the foam, or pierced the needle through it, I should say. I'm just going to start nice and close to the back, get a nice wee rear segment first of all, then skip your thread in, and I like to keep these quite small, compact. Right, now if you want to do them one at a time, do obviously measure with your fly or something, right? You need to, I mean, you've got to match the size, right? That's no bad. The heatherfly kind of ranges from about 10 to 15mm, something like that. It's not huge, but it is a decent size. And this is, I'm at the kind of big end here. This flies should be about, I would say about 15mm. It's a wee bit big, that one. Slightly weird. There we go. Right, so that looks no bad. Let me see, I'll just check it against the fly. Perfect. Right, I'll just tighten that in. Got a few wraps, a few good wraps. And I'll come in front. I'll put a half hitch in. And another. Then I'm going to cut this tag end long as well. Right, so you can see that I'm holding these tag ends away out, you know, they're long. Thumbnail against the needle, push it off. Then we'll get our hook. The hook I'm using is a short shank special. Right, there's loads of hooks out there, but short shank special, size 12. Camazan B160 is an alternative if you don't have a full mill hook. Right, but any of these, anything that fits basically, right? The short shank's nice because you have a bit more gape, and with the detached body, you know, and the gape being deeper, the centre of gravity is different, so it sits a wee bit lower. So I'm going to start the same thread. It's got a base of thread along the shank. Left my tag too short to grip, so I'll just trim that off. And I'll come back. Right, so at this stage I'm going to put on my body and just make sure I get these tag ends in front, and I'm going to offer it up, and I'll make another segment here, but it doesn't need to be big, right? It's just tying it ahead of the segments just to, I'm not trying to crush them, right? I want to get that in. Now, I'm just going to check the length just before I go any further. I can adjust everything still at this point. So that's the fly. I'm not bothered about the size of the hook. I'm just looking from the front of the hook eye. That's 14mm exactly. Right. So as I say, that's how you're on the sort of big size, the big side, but it's spot on, right? They'll be, I mean, where I come from, they were always quite chunky. If you find your heather fly are smaller, obviously tie them a wee bit smaller. So I've lashed these tag ends in and I've folded them back, right? That's them, they're nice and tight, it's really locked in. It's the thread, right, that's holding the detached body, right? And I'm going to take these waste pieces, I'm pulling them back, I'm tying hard up against it, right? That's very secure, and it will make your fly last quite a bit longer, right? The foam's soft and will move out of the way a lot of the time. You know, your forceps will be the thing that damages it rather than the fish most of the time when you're unhooking them. So I'll cut away my waste and I'll just tidy all this up. Right, no, don't be too fussy, you're going to put some dubbing and all that in, but get it kind of neat. Now I'm going to tie in a wing, of a polythene wing, right? That's years ago my pal Alan, he used to tie like a kind of hopper with a guinea fowl through it, or dyed orange guinea fowl through it, and with a polythene wing, and it's always seems to have been about the best option for these flies. So I've got a wee Ziploc bag and I've cut myself a strip, right? It's 4mm wide. Now before I tie it in, I'm just going to kind of knock the corners off. Make it look a bit more natural. I'm going to lie it on and let it just extend past like a segment length, say, beyond the back of the body. So the back of my wing, you don't see it very well on the camera, I don't think, but the back of the body is there, but the back of the wing is there, right? I'll just hit that flat, just take a loose wrap and roll the thread over it and lock it in with a couple of turns. Then you can just make sure you're right on top. Right. Now, if you're worried about being able to see the fly or whatever, you can replace that with something like an ultra dry yarn, poly yarn in white, or done, right? But I think part of the appeal of this fly to the fish is the way it sort of sits low and there's not really any kind of big profile above the water. You know, it's really just a wee low-lying footprint for them. So get that tied back, and then I'm going to take same foam. We'll just take a bit that cut off for that extended body. I'll catch that in. Get right back to there. Right, make sure you're tied right hard back against that wing. And then I'm going to get a wee pinch of black sulphur. And just make sure that's up. And this is what I was saying, like where you tied the foam in at the back, that wee segment, if it was a wee bit rough, don't worry too much, because the dubbing covers everything up. So the leg is orange flexi floss, right? You don't want a flex floss that's all curly, right? Some of the span flexes and all that are curly. This full of mill stuff's nice and straight. The vineyard stuff's nice and straight, right? But this is full of mill. It's orange, obviously, right? So although we call them red legs, they're really orange, right? It's the same as you call a robin redbreast a red breast, but it's really orange, right? It's no red. And all I do, tie a knot in it, and I cut myself. I cut up. So I've tied an overhand knot there, cut a length. I've left myself plenty of leg to work with, right, to get it to sit. I'll just do another one. I mean, I've actually got some lying on my desk, but just so you can see, it's just a simple overhand knot, right, like a granny knot, you know, tighten up, trim away. So make sure it's nice and tight. The knot sits really well on the flexi floss. So tie this in. I like to put the knee or the bend in knot sort of at the back of the hook, or slightly just in front of it. Then I'll trim the waist end. Now, flex floss is obviously a very kind of flexible material, right? And it can move around, but you can twist it, right? So if you like put it tight and twist it, you can kind of get it to reposition. Now you might still end up knocking it out of position when you tie, but I like to at least try to get them so that the legs are going down. Get a wee stretch and draw it in if you think it's no sitting how you like it. Do the other one. Couple of wraps, 2 or 3 wraps, get it positioned. And you can see this leg's trying to kick away towards you, so stretch, roll. I'm turning it down a wee bit, we'll just tighten that knot up. The knees are even, that's fine for me. I'll just get them back, pull them. I mean, you don't need to be fussy really, the fish don't care. More sulphur. I mean, if you don't want to use sulphur, you can use a different dubbing, but I like the sulphur. I like the way you get the wee kind of loose, buggy fibres, especially when you've caught a few fish. You know, it starts to get a wee bit rougher. So fill in that gap, keep them separate, and then come in front. Too much. You can just use the dubbing to position these legs. That isn't bad there. Come on underneath. Right, so I've now got this, right, obviously it's massive too long, but that sort of gives you an idea of the position. These two legs are separate. You could take these front legs away, but I like to leave them, right. It kind of helps stabilise the fly. So then I'm just going to pull this foam over the front, catch it in. 3 or 4 wraps. Right, come in. Fluffing my thread. Come in, whip finish. And again. Right. Trim away my thread. Come and cut that straight across. Oops, it's a wee bit big. There we go, cut a wee head on it. And then it's just a case of coming in, trimming these legs, sort of. The front ones don't need to be long. That's fine. It's a bit uneven, I'll just. There we go. And then I'll just sort of get the length of this that I like. Sort of back of the body. And you absolutely don't need to do this, but I come in. I can't really do it on the vise, but I'm just going to use a black marker. And just colour the tips of the back legs, because it looks nice. And I mean, they do have a black foot, you know, they've got a kind of orange thigh, I suppose it is, and then goes down into a black foot. But you don't need to do that. I'm just doing it because I like the look of it. Wee touch of varnish. Clean the hook eye. And then any really straggly bits of dubbing, long, any that are too long, just come in, take them away. Just carefully your legs. Yeah. You don't want any dubbing longer than the legs, obviously. So that's it. When you sort of get into the swing of tying them pretty quick, I know it's a long video, but if you stage tie them, do all the bodies in one go, it's much quicker, and obviously if you're not talking about it. So I hope that was useful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to give me a thumbs up below, and I'll see you for another one. Tight lines, guys. Bye.